Welcome to my basement where I store my food storage or food stockpile that I have been gathering for the last 8 years. The food that I'm about to show you is just excess that I have purchased when I see a good deal, when I'm low on a particular item. I have been going grocery shopping with the idea in mind that every time I go, I pick up 1 to 2 extra items of a particular product that I know will be good for long-term food storage. If you want to check out what I have in there because you're nosy, I mean, let's face it, I'm nosy too. I would like to know what people have in their like basement closets also. Hook me up with a thumbs up and let's get to it. Here is the overview of my food storage room. And as you get, I'll just kind of tell you like what everything is super quick, and then we'll talk about specifics and what I probably should stock up on. Hopefully this gives you some ideas about what you can purchase in your regular grocery shopping to slowly put together a stockpile as well. I am not suggesting in any way that you go to the store and like wipe all the shelves with any of these products. I'm not. But what you can do is go and pick up an extra 1 or 2 every time you go out, which is what I do. So it's my mechanical room, right? So over here in the corner, I have my HVAC system. Over there in that far corner is hot water heaters, water softener system. It's like a really big waste of space room. They built the house this way. There's a slope to the middle of the floor. There's a drain in the middle of the floor for extra water. We did not build the house. We just like purchased the house and this was already here. Seems like a waste of space, but it is what it is. Over here, I have like non-food storage. So I have like a case of toilet paper, a case of paper towels, bedding here that, you know, you have that vacuum and you, that kind of stuff. Some cleaning products. Tucked everywhere, you'll see I have canning jars. I haven't bought any in years, but I have a ton. Like those, they're down there. I just have like empty canning jars everywhere. I haven't done canning as much as I used to a couple years ago, but I hung on to most of the jars. This one's mostly food, which I'll cover in detail in a second. This shelf is basically kitchen stuff. I have things I don't use a ton. Like I don't use my dehydrator that often. I don't use my wheat grinder that often. I have a whole extra set of white plates. All my baking stuff, my roasting pan, like things I want, but I don't use enough to keep in the kitchen. That is like basically that whole shelf. And then painting stuff on the bottom. I do have a couple of boxes of things for Haley for when she goes to college that are also stored down here. This shelf here, I have more jars, condiments, home canning, and dried beans and things like that. And then the bottom is random non-food items. That is all I have in here. It's not a ton of food compared to some other people's like food storage that they have. Oh, I forgot about the freezer. I have a ton in the freezer. Anyway, let's go a little bit closer. These 3 shelves are kind of the only one with food. Over here in the corner, peanut butter to me is an essential. My family can go through 1 jar in a week. If I were to have an entire year's worth, it would be 52 of these, which I clearly do not have. I like to get these when they go on sale. My Fred Meyer, which is a Kroger store, recently had their brand for 97 cents. I think the sale was still going yesterday. That's a great deal to pick up a few of those. I got that one from Sam's Club once because I was like, oh, peanut butter is always a good one to have on hand. Obviously, I like to do a couple of condiments. Nothing super crazy. I have a couple of these marinades, some mayo, salad dressings, Nutella. Essential. My extra Thrive Market salsas are here. I don't feel like I have a ton right now, mostly because I've been focusing on using what I have lately and not restocking it. All of this stuff has been here for a while, like the dried corn. This one back here, I've got like dried beans and pasta along with rice, whole grain wheat, and more dried beans. These things last for so long, years and years and years. So I think these are great items to stock up on. And then obviously I have my home canned jams and jellies and stuff like that. And because I had made so many in the past, I have been trying to not make any so we can use the old stuff before it goes bad, before I start making new stuff. But I'm probably am gonna make new stuff this year. My mom has crabapple trees at her house and she's like, Christine, you want the crab apples to make crabapple jelly? And I said yes, because crabapple jelly is spectacular. It is so good. If you're into home canning, I think it's great to be able to stock up on things like this. Here are my homemade pickles. Oh, and I have a couple of boxes of cereal, not that many, like 4 boxes of cereal. That's about it. Let's shift over here. Another item I like to keep on hand are protein bars. Thank you to Built Bar for sponsoring today's video. I have a ton of these right now. I don't know why, but it's essentially the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. I like to store them in the fridge or freezer. They last a really, really long time. Their flavors are delicioso. I love all of the coconut and chocolate flavors. My husband likes the fruity chocolate flavors. They're really soft on the inside. The macros cannot be beat, and they're gonna give you a deal. If you guys wanna go to the first link in the doobly-doo and use the code FrugalFitMom15, they're gonna give you 15% off your first order, and sign up to get their like social media notifications because they have limited edition flavors all the time. If you wanna try some of their specialty flavors that come and go, or you can get the mixed variety box, which is what I got this last time, to try all the flavors and then pick your favorite. Coconut's my favorite one. First link below, use the code FrugalFitMom15. Thank you, Built Bar, and let's go back to the food storage. Now, I have said pasta sauce and pasta as a food storage option in many a video. As you can see, it is one of the things that I have. I will say these pastas are old. I should probably be using these. Oh, that one's 2022. That's not bad. Oh, that one's 2019. I've had that one a while. Clearly I don't cook orzo very often. Pasta lasts a really long time. I mean, like, what does it do? Get more dry? I have never had a bug issue here in my storage room. I did have issues when I lived in Texas, but if you want to make sure that when you bring the things home that they're not going to have bugs or bug eggs, stick them in the freezer for 2 to 3 days. It'll kill any bug eggs that happen to be in your flour, rice, pasta like this. And then these jars last a long time as well. I've had this one at least a year. No date, I guess that means it's good forever. Oh my gosh, where's the date? Oh, there we go. That one's 2022, and I've definitely had this for a year. So I would say your pasta sauces like this are 2 to 3 years depending. And then if you guys remember the Ibotta deal for the ragu from like a year ago, hook me up with a thumbs up, you know, because you've been following me for that long. I have been trying to use those ragus, but that dang Ibotta reset like every 3 days. Basically got those for free. And then over here I have like a couple of crackers and things like this. Like, these are just overstock for my pantry upstairs that my kids take for lunches, so I wouldn't call this long-term food storage, just excess storage. Coming down a shelf, you'll see most of my canned items. Canned tomatoes, awesome option. I do have some shelf-stable milk here from the Dollar Tree. Best price you can find. Some hot chocolate, you know, your can of cream of blah, blah, blah. I've been trying to get rid of these for like 2 years. You guys want to make bets on when these expired? It's not expired, it's a Best Buy. Tell me down below the year you think this is Best Buy, and I will pick a winner to get a gift card to somewhere so you can stock up on your food storage too. I'll give you like a $50 gift card to Walmart. Tell me down below, what year do you think this can expired? Or not expired, Best Buy, because I have passed that date. I just don't use these I gotta stop buying these. I don't use these enough. I have a bunch of these like soups like this, these Pacific soups. They're just nice to have around. I like these better than the cans. I feel like the canned soup tastes metallic. Is that just me? I think these are probably 2022, so we should start eating these. I love evaporated milk for food storage. I don't have very many of those left. Of course, my Dollar Tree pretzels. Great find. Here are some essentials I think most people should have if you know how to cook bread. Some yeast. After all the lockdown stuff and you couldn't find yeast for, it was months and months and months. All my stores have it now. I picked up a few of these from Sam's Club or Costco. They had hundreds of them. I think I got 2 on one trip, and then the next month I got 2 more. So I have 4 of these, and they're vacuum sealed. These are good for so long, and if you store them in your freezer, they basically last forever. Salt is a huge one. I mean, if you want your food to taste good, you need this. A couple of other things, I stocked up on the maple syrup. Honey is a great one to stock up on because it basically lasts forever. Like, this does not go bad ever. This will go bad, but this does not. So I'm a huge fan of stocking up on honey, local if you can find it, which will help with allergies if you have seasonal allergies and things like that. I have quite a bit of pumpkin. This is probably close to the Best Buy date. Oh dang, it's past the Best Buy date. Oh no. It's not expired, it's fine. Like, the top is still down. It's not gonna make you sick or anything like that. But after, like, canned pumpkin was impossible to find last year, and I have a feeling it's gonna be hard to find this year, I don't really wanna get rid of this. But I probably need to use it and make a whole bunch of pumpkin muffins. My pumpkin bread, I'm gonna leave you guys my pumpkin bread recipe down below. It's epic, it's so good. Oh, one shelf down. Can you see that? No? Okay, another couple things that are really good to have are oil of some kind. Now, these will expire a lot sooner. They'll go rancid, so you don't want to just go nuts. I have olive oil and canola oil on hand. This one's good till 2022. Who remembers when I bought this? I have not opened this second 50-pound bag. If you guys made bets on when I made this video in the first place over a year ago, dude, I should probably cook more oatmeal. Grains in general are great to have. Woo! Did I cut off my body? Oatmeal is awesome. I have quinoa is good to have. I have these red lentils mostly because I don't know how to cook them. Grains last a long time also, so this is basically all I have on my shelves. Clearly there are some things that I probably need to pick up. Sugar, flour, I probably need more wheat, like just whole wheat. I don't have a ton of that. I think some more shelf-stable milk because I only have 2. And then let's check out this giant freezer over here. Ooh. Yes, this freezer is big enough to hold an entire body. I think it's a 7.5-foot freezer. It's a little ridiculous. If you missed the previous video where I exchanged out my smaller one for this one, here's what happened. My mom bought this and it stayed in a box for like 10 years because she wasn't able to build her house. Her husband got sick and passed, and then she built a house here and then she moved here. She doesn't need a freezer this big anymore, so she gave it to my sister. Then my sister moved into a much smaller place and couldn't fit this one, wanted to know if I wanted it. That is how I ended up with this freezer. Like, it's not new, it's 10 years old, but it hasn't been used very much, so it's essentially new. It's a Kenmore Elite, in case you guys are wondering. I load this puppy up with my clearance finds. For example, bananas. Dave went to the store and they had 50-pound boxes of bananas for $5 each because they were going bad and they couldn't get rid of them. He bought 2. Dave brought home 100 pounds of bananas. So guess what most of this freezer is? Yeah, bananas. He came home and I'm like, okay, 1 box would have been fine. And he was like, I want bananas in my smoothie. And I was like, dude, you're gonna be eating bananas until you turn into a banana. Anytime I go to Fred Meyer and they have like their deals, like the butter was $1.99 a pound, I'm like, yeah, I'll get 5 of those. The Jimmy Dean sausage, 99 cents a pound. I'm like, yeah, I'll get 5 of those. Basically, anytime I see stuff like this that's gonna end up in the garbage, if people don't buy it because it's gonna go bad, I pick up a few, throw them in here. So I do keep a like freezer stockpile food storage as well. And as long as you have a generator, if you lose power, stuff like this will be okay. If you don't have a generator, this is not going to work if you're in a place that loses power often. So that is something to think about. Here's the deal. If what I have looks overwhelming to you because you've never done this before, just remember that I have been working on my food storage in this house for 8 years. If you're just getting started, it's not going to look the same as mine. The strategies that you're going to use to maybe get to something like this point is take things that you use a lot and take things that last a long time and just pick up a couple extra when you go. Some great things to start with are going to be your basic pantry staples, which I have covered in a couple of different videos. I'll leave that below. It does not cost very much to pick up a bag of flour, a pound of oats, some salt. If you have some basic pantry items and you know how to cook with them, you can feed yourself and your family for not very much money, not leaving your house, for whatever reason. There's a huge long list of reasons why maybe you can't make it to the grocery store, why you would want to have some extra food in your house. Maybe you want to save some money one month to pay for some other things or some kind of financial emergency, so you just want to eat the food that you have without going out to eat or going to the grocery store to cut back on your basic expenses. Things I've noticed that I need to pick up: flour, white sugar, honey, probably some more whole wheat, and maybe some rice. I don't think I need any more pasta. I don't think I need any more oatmeal. It doesn't look like I need more canned pumpkin. I could use more canned vegetables in general, I think. So these are things that I will slowly be picking up over the next few months. So if you guys like seeing my grocery hauls, maybe hit the subscribe buttons. You can check out what I do pick up coming up. I'll have some resources down below in the doobly-doo if you want to get started on your own basic food storage in your house. Don't forget to check out Built Bar with the first link below. Code FrugalFitMom15 to save 15% if you want to check out the best tasting protein bar I've ever had. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys are doing great and you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video.